Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is the second video in the series about junction work. Hopefully you've seen the other video in the series, the first one before this, about approaching a junction. If you've not seen that, I'll stick the pop-up up there, and hopefully that'll pop up now and you'll be able to link and watch that as well. Today we're looking at emerging from a junction. So at the end of a road and turning left or right. In the video about approaching a junction, we talked about having a really good routine, and again that's really important here. So for us, you want a really good strong routine using the same routine of MSPSL. If you're not aware of what that is and you don't quite understand what that is, there's another video I've done on the MSPSL routine, and you'll find that just up here. So with MSPSL, it stands for, remember, mirrors, signal, position, speed and gear, and a final look. Really important that we do those things so we stay safe and we're giving ourselves time to make a safe judgment. And as was said before, the number one reason people fail in their test is observations at a junction. So as we're approaching the end of a road, you should get an instructions along the lines of, okay, at the end of the road we're going to turn left. So as you approach the end, you hear that instruction, you think, right, okay, I can see the end of the road. I check my mirrors. So interior mirror, left door mirror. Signal, it's going to be left, so indicator down. Position the car, so keep your car that metre or so away from the curb. So as you get to the end of the road, you're going to follow it round to the left. If you're going left, if you're going right, you're going to position yourself close to the white line in the centre before you turn right. Really important. And again, we touched on as to why in the previous video. Speed and gear, so end of a road, slowing down. This is where this can be a little bit different from approaching a junction. When you're emerging from a junction, you need to be able to see if it's safe to go, and it's very often obscured. Lots of junctions, so at the end of this road that we're on currently, you can't see to the right or the left. You can see ahead of at the crossroads, but you can't see to the left or to the right. So you're going to need to slow right down. But if it's like that, you're probably going to need to slow down to first gear. You don't have to stop unless it's not safe or you can't see, and then you're going to need to do something slightly different, but we'll touch on that in a little while. Slow yourself down. I'd say to start with, when you're working on it at the beginning, take it slow, go for first gear, and then I'll look. So end of a road, you need to check to the right, you need to check to the left, and then you check right one more time. So right, left, right. Is it clear to the right? Have I got a gap? Hopefully yes. Check left. Now if you're turning to the left, most people say, well, I don't need to worry about that. I think, this is my opinion, a lot of accidents happen at junctions because people don't check to the left to where they're turning, because they just assume it's going to be good and it's going to be clear. But you could turn around there, someone could be crossing the road. We've already said you might not be able to see on approach to that junction what's going on in the road. So you go to turn left, and there could be a parked car, there could be a queue of traffic, there could be anything. Someone could have just stopped to let someone cross the road. You turn around, you turn out into the back of a car. Quite low speed, but still not something you want to be doing. So you've checked to the right, you've checked to the left to make sure it's clear, you check right one more time, make sure that gap's still there, nothing's changed, and on you're going round. Same for when you're turning right. Is it clear to the right? Yep. Is it clear to the left? Is this traffic that I'm joining, is it clear? Have I got a gap that marries up from both sides? Could I walk across that gap? So we talked about that in the last video. Have we got the time to walk across? If you can walk across, you should be able to drive across, and then out you go, if it's nice and clear. If it's not, and there's no gap or there's something stopping you, then you wait. Remember, you're at the end of the road, you're at the give way line. Everything past that you have to let it happen. So people are going to cross you, you need to let it happen. And then the important thing there is you keep assessing, you keep checking. So don't just stare one way, don't just stare out your window to the right here looking for your gap, or just to the left. You need to keep checking both ways and make sure you've done both before you go to pull out. Once you're out and you're in the road and you're on your side of the road, you drive up to speed, check your mirror, make sure, see what's going on behind you. Am I safe? Is someone approaching me? All good. I'll get up to speed and on I go. Things that can go wrong here. What do you think? What do we think could go wrong here? It's very similar to approaching a junction as it is emerging a junction. Too much speed on approach. You go too fast. You don't give yourself enough time to look. Then you stop unnecessarily. Or you go too fast and you overshoot the line, which then you don't have time to do those observations. That number one reason for failing your driving test. You don't have the time to do your observations, and then you either pull out in front of somebody. It's all well and good saying, oh, I checked right, I checked left, and I checked right again. But if you don't see anything, if you're looking but you're not seeing, that's a big problem, because you're still going to pull out in front of somebody. All you're doing is just doing it because you've been told you have to do it and make use of it. The only other thing is your judgment about my gap's too big or too small, really. There are a million and one things that could happen, but those are the bigger ones there. So what I'll do now is we'll have a drive out, and we'll do some left and right turns at the ends of the roads. So the end of this road, hopefully you can see this is a crossroads, and we'll just talk through about what I'll talk through now, what we do at a crossroads. For me, you can overcomplicate it and worry too much. When you get to the end of the road and you can see it's a crossroads, you do your normal observations as you would do for any other junction. You make sure that you've checked that road ahead as well. Is there somebody coming? Is there somebody that was already waiting to turn? There's a whole thing we can talk about crossroads and priorities, but for this scenario, we'll just talk about turning right and turning left. This one's really nice and quiet, but we'll touch on crossroads in a later video. But just before we go, sometimes you'll get to the end of a road, so like the road in front of us here, and you can't see now, but you get to the end of the road, and then once you're there you can see past everything, and you can see past the fences that you can't at the moment. You can't go because you can't see if it's safe or not. So you've got a couple of options here. What do I do? Well, you either stop and wait for everyone to move their cars. It's not going to happen, is it? That's just not happening. Or you do what we call creep and peep. So you creep the car really slowly, really carefully in first gear, nice little bit of clutch control, and all the time checking right, checking left, checking right, checking left, right and left, to make sure it's clear. Slowly edging the car out. If somebody comes along, you stop and wait, and then, but if it's all nice and clear, then off you go and you carry on your turn. But really important that you keep observing and you go nice and slowly. Right, so what we'll do is I'll get going now, and then I will talk you through what I do and what we should be doing as we come to the end of a road. Go. Apologies, you might hear the air conditioning, it's a bit warm today. So, end of this road here, we're going to turn right. So I'm going to check my interior mirror and my right door mirror, indicate. Keep myself close to this white line, hopefully you can see that. So, end of the road, still quite difficult for me to see. I can see now, and if I just check it again, yeah, I'm good to go. Round we go, parked car opposite us, so we'll just tighten up a little bit more, and on we go. So, end of this road here, we're going to turn left, so interior mirror, signal left. Nice and steady. I can't see past these trees and bushes and stuff, so I'm going to slow right down. Haven't stopped, it's nice and clear. Check one more time, round I go. So hopefully you notice there the car didn't stop. It went very, very slowly, but it didn't stop, and that's absolutely fine. Just one thing I didn't quite touch on. So everything I was talking about there was at the end of a normal two-way road. The road we're going to come to the end of along here is the end of a one-way road. So sometimes your position needs to be a little different, and I'll show you what I do for turning right at the end of a one-way street here. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the right down this road now. There's a little giveaway line, but I can see ahead of me there's nothing coming. Position the car over to the right. Just one more check, make sure it's safe, and around we go. So the end of this road here, we're going to turn right. So I'm going to check my mirrors to the right and signal right. My position is going to be a lot further over to leave people room on the left to be able to get out. I still can't see very well, so down to first gear, and the road's quite busy. So I'm positioned way over to the right, and now I'm just checking all the time, making sure, have I got a gap? Is it big enough? So at the minute, it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting out for a little while. So just keep checking. So I can see that the traffic has stopped to my left for people turning. Got a gap after this motorbike, and then after this silver one it looks like I have a gap. Yep, I do. One more check, and around we go. Just careful of the crossing here, it's very close to the junction. So yeah, the only difference there with at the end of a one-way street, if we know it's one way and we want to turn right, we position ourselves to the right of the end of the road. If we know we can turn left, we can position ourselves to the left. Don't take up the middle position and just block everything up, because you could prevent somebody turning that could quite easily go in another gap that you have to wait for. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the right here just after these traffic lights, so check my mirrors, signal right, start to move the car over. Hopefully you can see we've got a little filter lane here. So I'll pull myself over into this filter lane. I can see it's nice and clear in front of me, gear is good, round I go into this one-way street. To the right here, so mirrors and signal. It's a little giveaway line, but again, I can see everything in front of me. Can I go? Yeah, it's a one-way street, shouldn't be anything coming towards me. And on we go. So end of the road, I'm going to check my mirrors and turn left. So to the left. So we can see there's a van already at the end of the road, slightly blocking our vision, and this road is really difficult to see to the right, so I'm going to make sure I creep nice and carefully. Yep, good and clear, and on I go. Just check my mirrors, cancel that signal, good. Cars follow me out, nice bit of space behind me, and I'm all good. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of another road. This time we're going to turn left again, so I'm going to check my mirrors to the left, nice and clear. Little junction here, so I'm going to signal a bit later this time, don't want to confuse anybody. And I go down to first gear because I cannot see to my right at all until now. It's nice and clear, good, and I'm off. No one behind me, so nice and gently accelerating up to the speed limit of 30 miles an hour. Right. Not too far from here, we're going to go another end of a road, and we're going to turn to the right at the end of this road, onto a slightly busier road. I'll just say that, probably no cars there now, so I'm going to check my mirrors to the right, signal right. Oh, indicator's come back off, time to put it back on. I'm slowing down, positioned myself to the right, so my position's done, my speed's gone right down, that car in front had to almost stop, so I'm just going to be careful, make sure it's nice and clear, looks like it, and around we go, staying on the right hand side, sorry, left hand side of the road, and we turn to the right there. Okay, so we're going to get around this corner, and there's another end of a road when we get around the corner. And you should be able to see it now. So, end of this road, I'm going to turn left. So check my mirrors, I've signalled left. Come around those parked cars, I'm going to reposition myself, make sure I follow the end of this road. I know this is a busy main road I'm turning onto, so I'll get myself a good position. I'm down into first gear. Check in after this Volvo, there's a big enough gap for me to walk across, so I'm going to take that gap, nice and clear, crossing's clear, bus is coming out, so I'm not going to accelerate too hard. The car is behind me, but there's nothing I can do about speeding up. It is what it is, we are doing what we can do. Okay, another one, little crossroads inside a housing estate here. End of this road, I'm going to turn right. Car waiting, so I'm assuming there's something coming or something happening, so we had the pedestrians crossing the road there. Nice and slowly as I approach, I can't see to the left fully, or the right's better, so nothing happening, no one crossing, on I go. And at the end of this road, back onto this busy main road, so I'm going to check my mirrors and I'm going to go right, so I'm going to signal right. Cyclist there held back and waited for us. Nice and steady, can't see, so car from my left clear to the right. After this red one I've got a gap and I'm going to take it. Good. Out and into the road, there's a van approaching, so I need to get up to speed. So just a quick one we wanted to touch on here. As we approach the end of this road, hopefully you'll notice there's a sign, a big red sign there, so it's a stop line. So when you are emerging from a junction here, so we're going to go to the right, so it's all the same things as normal, so mirrors and signal them, position's good, but this is a stop line, so the car has to become completely stationary at these stop lines. If you fail to do that, you will fail your driving test. It's stopped for a reason, and the stop for the reason here is because it's really difficult to see. So now I can just about see from here, so I'm going to slowly go out. There's somebody waiting to cross the road, I'll be nice and I'll let them cross. Indicator off, and then on we go. So it's important that, so they aren't as common and as frequent obviously as a giveaway line, but at a stop line it is so important that the car becomes stationary, because if you don't do it, then you're not following the road signs and your response to road sign, which is another one of the top 10 reasons for failing the driving test. You'll get a mark there, you'll fail there, you didn't do it, just didn't do as you were told to do. Okay, so that just about wraps us up on emerging from a junction. So remember, routine, really important, so MSPSL all the time when you get to the end of the road. And if you're not sure, if you can't see, creep and peep, but if you're not sure, You don't go. Look for that gap that you think you could walk across. If you're not sure, wait and take the next opportunity that appears to you. Okay, so hopefully you like that. Don't forget, like and subscribe down below. Hit the bell button so you get more notifications about when more videos get uploaded, and we'll get on to probably roundabouts video, next one in this sort of series about what to do and sort of breaking down driving lessons, as it were. So next one up, roundabouts. Like and subscribe, share the videos with your friends if you think it's going to help them as well, and see you all again soon.